Hey everybody, it's your old pal Robert from ThrillRide.com. How you doing? So as you can see, I'm back out in the high desert area, sort of the Palmdale, Lancaster, environs, and I'm out here to see a filming location. It's a building that has a much more interesting history than I suspected, and it is featured in one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, or should I say movies? The only kind of pair of films that he did. Of course, I'm speaking of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and the iconic church where the lead character, the bride, aka Beatrice Kiddo, got married and then subsequently met a near final end at this location. And I wanted to come out and take a look at it. And on the way out here, I think I stumbled upon yet another building that is available for filming, which looks really interesting. So anyway, going to take a look around at what is known as the Kill Bill Church. See that right there behind me? And yeah, I mean, between the audaciousness of some of the cinematography, all of it, the soundtrack, the cast, Kill Bill is definitely up there. It's one of my favorite films of the modern era. So let's go take a look around. So if you're a fan of the films, you probably recognize that facade pretty quickly. You know, there weren't a whole lot of scenes here, and I think it was really primarily featured in part 2, if I recall. I haven't seen the movies in a while, but yeah, there it is. And I think you used to be able to get a little bit closer, but I'm now seeing they have a lot of warning no trespassing signs around the front, so we're obviously not going to get too close. But yeah, on the truck out in front, you can see they've got a sign that says film here, so it is still very much available as a location set and is a functional church. Yeah, the physical location out here is pretty great. A lot of Joshua trees, a lot of open expanse, and out here in December, it's very pleasant. Kind of the low 60s right now, and I'm sure in the summer it gets a lot more brutal. So a good time to check this out. And I'm not sure what this Casa Chiquita sign is all about, if that is somehow connected to the church. I mean, it physically is, but how that works, I'm not sure. Anyway, so what surprised me was learning that this building was not originally built as a church. It was kind of a box. And then the facade was built onto it for a Robert De Niro film, I believe called True Confessions. I'm going to look up those details later. That was made in I think 1980. So it became known as a good spot to shoot this kind of Adobe style church almost. Not really Adobe, whatever that architectural style is. And then, after years of being used as a film location, including for Kill Bill, a pastor bought it thinking it was a real church and began using it as a church. So it's kind of a building that was designed to be a phony church that became a real church and is still available to use as a phony church for your film or television production. Yeah, there you go. The Sanctuary Church, founded by Seventh-day Adventist laymen, united in action. And I do love me some Joshua trees. Such a visually distinctive plant. Really neat. And I wonder how they got the name Joshua. I have to look that up at some point. I see some people who look to be potentially setting up a quick little photo shoot here with the church. But yeah, it is still, again, very active in film and television productions, but is also a functioning church, which I'm sure is why they want to keep the looky-loos to a minimum. Yeah, in the kind of brief research that I did before coming out here, I don't recall that there were these no trespassing signs around, but I kind of understand why that might have become necessary. You can see the windows on the side here kind of have that classic arched look, very church-like. Yeah. Just trying to imagine Quentin Tarantino and the whole crew out here. So sure enough, the building was constructed in 1934 as a kind of a community hall. So it was a pretty inconspicuous box, apparently. And then it was in 1981 that the producers of the Robert De Niro film True Confessions chose it and put up this kind of facade to give it the look of like a Spanish-style church. And then that sort of kicked off its use as a location for Hollywood, very close by, and was in a bunch of movies, television series, Talking Heads video, The Road to Nowhere, Britney Spears' Crossroads. Apparently it stood in for a Navajo souvenir stand, a bunch of other stuff. But it was 2003 and 2004's Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 that really made it the famous location we know today. And subsequently, when the church was purchased and then turned into a real church, its owner was unfamiliar with its kind of history as a filming location. They just assumed it was indeed a working church. And that began its career as a true house of worship, which it remains today, but of course is still very much available for location filming. I like this stone structure here in the scrub across the road. Not sure what it was intended for. Feels kind of like a marker you'd see in a national park, maybe. But if there was any kind of text plaques or anything, they are long gone. I love that I randomly came out here as a wedding photography session was going on. That's really neat. I have to believe this is a fairly popular spot for that kind of thing. And it is truly a very remote location. Cars do pass by once in a while, but they are pretty few and far between, allowing for standing in the middle of the road with absolutely nothing to fear. Good percentage of the time. You know, the magic of the movies, man. It's just amazing what a little bit of misdirection and creative camera angles can do to turn something that is in a pretty kind of mundane area and make it look like it is anywhere else in the world they want it to be. There really is something about coming out to this part of the world where, you know, during specific moments, it is utterly almost soundless. Just maybe the breeze blowing past your ears. That's all I can hear. I love that. So at some point, I'll have to make it my business to get back out here when the church is open and see if I can take a look at the interior. I did read online that the current owners are actually very welcoming of visitors, so the trespassing signs may be a little more intimidating looking than they are intended to be. But yeah, visitors are welcome. So yeah, I might try to come back and check that out. But in the meantime, I'm going to head back and take a quick look again at this other unique looking structure that I passed on the way here. So yeah, right out here in the middle of the Mohave Desert, all those beautiful Joshua trees. This is what I passed on the way out here. And I'm like, wait a minute, this looks like a movie set. And sure enough, it is. There's a little gas station and then this Easy Rest Inn It was apparently built for a 1991 Dennis Hopper movie, and has since gone on to be in a bunch of other movies, including The Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie classic, and one of my favorite comedies from, what is it, 80s, 90s, Nothing to Lose, with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence. I'm telling you, man, that movie is a riot, and the two of them together are, what a comedy pairing. I'm really sorry they never did more films together. But yeah, music videos, a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I just, this caught my eyes. Something that was very clearly meant to be a little bit of Hollywood magic out here in the scrub. Look at that. That is fantastic. So it was made very clear online, and there of course is a private property sign there that this is indeed somebody's private land, and trespassing is absolutely forbidden, so we're going to keep it on the other side of the street. But I just did want to swing by real quick and take a look. I mean, just that easy rest in sign alone, oh, glorious. I'm sure I've said it before, probably said it a lot in the Wigwam Village video, but I just wish there was a whole chain of these kind of retro throwback motor inns with that like classic 40s, 50s, and 60s kind of early mid-century and kind of late deco style. Yeah, oh, so great. What a fun thing to be able to own and operate a filming location like this out here. I'm not sure if the owner actually lives here. There's a trailer, but it just may be for film crews and related support team members. There we go. Well, you can't beat that location too. What a vista in the back. So you can see, looking across the road to the left of the unpainted wood structure, it says Club Ed. And I guess that was the name of this Dennis Hopper film for which the sets were built. And I gotta say, I'm a big Dennis Hopper fan, but I haven't even heard of that movie, much less seen it. That one passed me by. You can see, looking across the way, they got that classic vintage ice machine there to the left of the enclosed porch, and it looks like that's a little fast food place with fries, shakes, that kind of thing. And of course the turquoise coloration is pretty on point. Okay, now I can see the sign up above the porch there. It's called the Last Chance Cafe or Inn or something like that. Oh, it's so great. Oh man, to own and operate a place like this, yeah, that'd be a happy life for me. If it wasn't for the heat, I could totally see living in the high desert. This landscape, I think, is just stunning. And in the dead of winter, it's really pleasant. Just those other months out of the year, I don't think I could manage. So yeah, I thought I'd just take a quick stroll on the same side of the street, figuring that wouldn't be too trespassy. Just at a slightly closer look at the gas station. Oh man. Yeah, there we go. Club Ed AV locations. Oh, neat. I'm sure there's some artful art-directed aging going on here, but I'm sure a lot of it is also just nature doing its thing. So now that I'm a little better educated on the topic, there are quite a few interesting filming locations out here in the Mohave Desert. I'm going to have to come check out some of these other places as well. Oh yeah, when the traffic noise dies down, just hear the chirping and singing of the birds. Oh, I love that. All right, I think that is going to bring this one to a close. So as always, thank you so much for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of quick look at the Kill Bill Church. Such a big fan of Volume 1 and 2, and you know, we were going to maybe get Volume 3 at some point. Tarantino had talked about the possibility, and I mean, we all know the story that could happen. Vivica Fox's daughter's grown up, and she's out for her own revenge, and yeah, could have been great, but I think that ship has sailed. I think he's wrapping up this 10th film, and that may be it for his cinema output. But we'll always have Volumes 1 and 2, just iconically great movies. And again, that soundtrack, oh, listen to it over and over again. All his soundtracks, like he curates his music as well as his visuals. It's pretty great. And I'm gonna have to look up this Club Ed film with Dennis Hopper. Yeah, gotta see what that's all about. So yeah, a little short and sweet, but it was good to get out into the quiet and serenity of the high desert. Always a pleasure. All right, take care, and we will catch you in the next one.